Aegir has been live for a month now, and it's time to evaluate how it's faring. How has the community reacted? Is there still a support shortage? How easy is it to jump into this raid? And how have lobbies evolved week by week? Let's break it down. I came into Aegir expecting to have 6 characters at 1660 eye level, but reality had other plans. With limited resources, I struggled to push my roster, managing only 3 raid-ready characters: my Zerk, War Dancer, and Breaker. My main being the Zerk joined my static for an immediate run at launch, and despite minimal guide watching, we cleared quickly, just 2 pulls per gate on eye level. Even our alt run had a similar experience, though with slightly lower damage output. However, the excitement of smooth clears was tempered by a glaring issue: the support shortage for alt runs. Lobbies with 4 to 5 DPS waited hours for supports to join, so my artiller's friend and I spent over 1.5 hours finding a group that would accept both of us. Most lobbies were looking for high geared mains, leaving on-level alts like ours in limbo. We decided the tactic of sniping lobbies that just went up with the support in them was the best tactic, and it worked out for us. Despite these hurdles, the raid itself was enjoyable. It struck a great balance between being engaging but forgiving enough to make progress with basically limited prep. By the end of week 1, I was eager to dive back in. Reddit was optimistic that Ignite servers would bring more supports, but this seemed overly hopeful. Many players wanted to push these new alts, but without pre-farm materials and a lack of advanced honing, I was doubtful, and lobbies remained flooded with DPS. Even our static faced challenges. We had planned to push hard mode, but a support absence delayed our progression this week. On my 3rd run, I encountered a standout LC sharpshooter pug who performed surprisingly well, especially since they were only 1-piece arc passive. This rekindled my interest in the class, as I had been getting overly gatekept on it thus far. Using a support main in my Discord as a ticket into stronger lobbies, my artiller's friend and I managed smooth clears despite a lingering support shortage. Runs remained fun, but revealed a common theme. Players rushing progression with underprepared characters were littered across the lobby finder still. The takeaway: Aegir normal mode was amazing, but the raid's full potential felt limited by the lack of readily available supports. Week 3 marked a shift in the Aegir experience, with my 3 alts unlocking their second arc passive pieces. Damage output and playstyles saw significant improvements. The raid itself continued to feel rewarding, though my static support situation took a hit. Our longtime support stepped away from the game, forcing us to stick with normal mode while searching for a replacement. Unfortunately, still, we're going to week 5, still have not found a hard mode support looking to prog with us, so if anyone has one and wants to join a group, please let me know ASAP. Surprisingly, midweek saw a shift from support shortages to a DPS shortage. As players pushed support alts to raid readiness, many lobbies struggled to find enough DPS. This shift allowed my LC sharpshooter, long stuck in gatekeeping purgatory, to finally join groups. After honing it to 1660, I saw quick, smooth clears, especially as players transitioned into arc passives to carry. This week also highlighted the power of the arc passives. Builds using arc passives began to pop up in other raids, with some characters snowballing with new damage. There was some awkwardness though. Some early builds were more developed on the Nexus than others, like characters splitting points into Keen Sense and Limit Break for early damage before transitioning into full optimization for end nodes. This system brought fresh energy to the raid, giving players tangible rewards for progression, unless you were me, who for some reason had all of his elixirs fall off his gear and didn't notice until all the raids for the week were over. By week 4, Aegir normal mode had cemented itself as one of the easiest raids in Lost Ark's Western release history. The lobbies became far less selective, with most players willing to accept anyone above minimum eye level as long as they weren't running rat characters. The raid's straightforward mechanics like early wipe checks and forgiving DPS requirements ensured that most groups cleared without significant issues. Re-clears became a highlight, as evolving arc passives provided massive power spikes for returning characters. These boosts made an already manageable raid feel even easier. Despite the ongoing challenge to find a support for hard mode, the overall experience was relaxed. My static is now able to clear all raids by Saturday, leaving the rest of the week open, a rarity for us that we haven't experienced in a very long time. This is notably with more than 18 raids weekly, as I'm doing more to help out our static mates with not a full T4 roster, and to get some extra behemoths in for those Makoko coins. I personally love where we currently are in the game, even if there are issues prevalent in the game from a publisher perspective, but we'll get into that in the next video. Aegir Normal Mode is a chill, enjoyable raid that's perfect for players of all skill levels. Early support shortages have begun to ease, and with the raid's forgiving mechanics and clear progression rewards, gatekeeping has significantly decreased. That said, the raid's simplicity might eventually wear thin for a small portion of veterans seeking more challenging content. Still, for now, Aegir provides a refreshing, low-stress experience that feels rewarding without being exhausting. I will note this, the support shortage in hard mode is pretty annoying for statics like mine and the many others in a similar situation. I feel like a majority of players didn't do full advanced honing on anything but their main, and most main supports already have a static. It is ungodly how painful it is to get to 1660 without advanced honing, let alone the pure terror of pushing up into 1680 territory. Taking the fact that currently a key part of characters' progressions are locked behind this eye level, I have never in my Lost Ark lifespan had such a prolonged difficulty of sourcing someone for a static, but we're going on to 3+ weeks of me trying to get someone with no success. I thought it was silly to reduce eye level by 10 pre the raid release, but I'm sliding ever so closer to thinking that would have just been a better time for many people just to access the basic tier 4 Ark passive benefits. Let me know how your experience with Aegir has been. Has it differed from mine? I know my high roster level and gearing is not something a casual player would have at this point, but I would imagine lobbies are just letting in people without too many gatekeeping techniques since it is that easy of a raid. Now, if you haven't done things like transcends or elixirs, you may need to work on your character to get them out of the rat territory. Do you like the raid? Let me know below. Check out my new and returning playlist for helpful videos to get you acquainted with the game fast. Or check out my last video on the Ark passive system so you can know what to do as you start becoming a reclear in Aegir runs. Until next time, my name is Easy Break. Take it easy.